X, formerly known as Twitter, just open sourced the algorithm. This is a fancy way of saying they put the algorithm and what determines your post visibility, your account's visibility in code, which with AI tools and developers that also want to be like creators, we can pretty much see now what works, what doesn't, and how to best position ourselves to be able to grow on the platform. In this video, I'm going to break down some of the best write-ups that I've seen. I'm not just going to straight up read them to you. I'm going to summarize them and try to get you all the information that I know from reading dozens of articles in just a few minutes. So with all that being said, let's dive in. I think the best write-up I've seen on this is Alex Finn. He's been doing write-ups on X Algos. That was kind of his second brand in the space. It's kind of been more Claude Code recently, but he wrote a really good piece. It's already at 133,000 views. Basically, this is what it says. You need to get impressions, whether that be anything, likes, replies, reposts, quotes, profile clicks. We know all this, and we probably know that each of these is weighted differently. You might not get the same amount of account visibility for, let's say, a like as you would, let's say, a bookmark. So we know a couple of things about how those are weighted and that we're going to get to later. And then on the flip side, again, these are kind of obvious, but you don't want them to say that they're not interested in you. You don't want them to block you. You don't want them to mute you. You don't want them to report you. And there is a big penalty if you fall into any of those areas, which you need to think about if you are kind of like mad at somebody on the timeline and you want to go type something out and be a keyboard warrior. Like, remember, if you are a creator and you do care about visibility, that could ultimately hurt every other aspect of your platform. Probably not worth getting out what you want to get out. So, quality over quantity, no more GMs. Basically, this whole section talks about the new model, which is kind of what I should have talked about at the beginning. So they use this model called the Phoenix AI, and he talks about it in the hook of this. Basically, the X algorithm is completely powered by Phoenix, a Grok-based model made for social media algos. It predicts how you will engage with every single piece of content you posted on X. So what does it take? It takes the last 128 posts you've engaged with, liked, replied to, etc., and makes predictions off of that and goes off of that. So think about it. This is how your algorithms are set. You know, if you click on pictures of Greg in a bikini, you'll see more pictures of Greg for a bikini. For your content, your reach is determined by the following formula. So will you pop up on others' feeds that have similar content to you? You have to think about that. And this kind of goes back to, it kind of goes a little further into this. I'm skipping ahead here, but when Nikita said that controversial statement the other day about how basically if you reply, you use up some of your reach for the day, this kind of goes into that because people will only really see you once per day if they're not aggressively following you. And so you want that to be something that is relevant to them and something that they want to come back for, not slop something quality. So if you're focused on virality, which we wrote an article yesterday talking about how virality is great, but ultimately consistency is better. But if you are focused on virality, which would be that first content bucket, you need to create engaging content, make longer videos. So this is more of like get people to stay on the post longer. Some of the recent viral posts that I've seen lately are so long that nobody feels like reading it. It was an ongoing joke about the article that got like 100 million views or something like that because it was so long. It had like 530k bookmarks, and it was making your life better. And that was the running joke, was everybody's procrastinating making their life better just by reading that article. So make longer videos or post. Encourage profile visits, get people to follow you, inspire DM shares, space out your post, avoid author diversity penalty. That's the author diversity penalty is what I was talking about for the, like, if you kind of post slop and you post a lot and they're only allowed to see one of your posts per day and it's a bad one, then you don't want that to be their one post. You want it to be a post that you've really worked hard on. And then build your follower base. That's, you know, grow your followers is pretty straightforward. And then again, you don't want to get muted. You don't want to get reported. You don't want to get people say not interested. You don't want to post controversial content. I would actually push back on this. It just depends on the way that you do this. So I would say not controversial content in the extent of like you're getting a ton of people to block you or to mute you or report you, but you want to be opinionated. I mean, and Alex knows that. He's extremely opinionated. So just don't confuse this with not having an opinion. You can have an opinion, even a controversial opinion, but if it's so controversial that, you know, you're ended up like getting blocked and muted by everybody, then that's kind of where that plays. Don't spam post rapidly. I have to watch myself on this because sometimes my brain is just like, oh, I have so many ideas. But you want to spread your post out, take your time. And then don't use muted keywords. I would love to know what these keywords are. That's probably 4 different posts that I need to dive into specifically. ICO Beast also wrote a really good piece on this. Again, I'm not going to read as much of his. Actually, I'm going to jump into this other one real quick. This other one that I found I like on what does not work anymore because it's a little bit different than Alex's. This is what used to work in the algorithms, but now currently does not work. Keyword optimization. Very interesting that keyword optimization does not work anymore. I don't know if I fully agree with that because I feel like when I use keywords, they do tend to do better, but I don't know. I guess we'll figure out the further we get. Hashtag stuffing, which makes sense. Like hashtags just don't really work on Twitter anymore. They do. I would argue they do still work on Facebook and on really even TikTok and Instagram. Follow for follow, that's been dead for a long time on all platforms. On ICO Beast write up, he basically sums each one up in one sentence before breaking it down into like further details. So just to kind of save you time, I'm going to hit the one sentences. Make posts that are semantically similar to viral posts or topics. So basically, if you see posts that are going viral, like look at them and be like, what is the structure of this? How many? Is it long? Is it short? Did they use a hook? Like study those. Design posts to encourage a mix of positive actions like likes, reposts, replies, shares, and long dwells, aka screen time. And this kind of goes into Phoenix predicts probabilities for dozens of actions. So this is a little bit hard because it's hard to you can't say, hey, like this, retweet this, or whatever a lot of times in the post. Sometimes, but yeah. Anyways, this is saying a like plus a bookmark plus a retweet is the holy grail for discovery. So if somebody's doing all 3 of those for you, they're doing a huge favor to your account. Also remember this when you're running business accounts as well, because you're able to incentivize people that either invested in your business, that are working for the business. You kind of have guaranteed people, a set of users that should be able to like, bookmark, and retweet at the beginning. Include engaging visuals like expandable photos or videos with optimal durations that prompt actions such as video views or photo expansions. Ever wonder why the silly 4 pictures of expand stuff went viral? This is why. Post timely content tied to current events or trends as the algorithm pre-scoring age filter removes expired or older posts. Of course, just keep posting. If you're a frequent poster, space out content or collaborate with others to prevent the author diversity score from downweighting your post. Create positive, non-controversial content that minimizes the risk of reports blocking. That's kind of what I said earlier. Be opinionated, but don't be so controversial that it provokes reporting, blocking, or muting. And leverage. So focus on authentic, value-driven content. The algorithm eliminates hand-engineered features. Relevance is learned purely from users' engagement patterns, aka your little Telegram engagement circles are not good in the long run. That's really interesting. So yeah, it's basically wants you to drive value through the platform itself, not through Telegram pointing to your post. Posts that naturally align with what users have historically liked or shared without gaming tactics will score higher in the Transformers predictions, fostering the organic virality. I will kind of point out, it's funny because some of these do overlap and contradict. Like ICO Beast is saying, it looks like they're bringing hashtags back, while the other one said that there are no keywords and hashtags. They're both deboosted. So, you got to kind of take what you're seeing from these people's interpretation of it and kind of read between the lines. Like I said, the consistent one that I kept seeing was not to be controversial. And again, we have to remember that's so controversial that you're being blocked. Anyways, this is an overview of a lot of the things that changed about the algorithms. I try to get this out in a reasonable time. This is a new channel. If you appreciate the content, I would love if you left me a like or a share or any of those YouTube things. I do have a school group that is focused on monetizing your content. It's brand new. It's completely free for the month of January. There's already 13 members in it. And I post all the time on learning how to monetize. This one was yesterday, how to organize your content so it actually works. I have 2 classrooms already set up that each one kind of breaks you through just high level, exact metrics on how to monetize your content. If you want to join that, feel free. Link's going to be in the description. And I'll see you guys next video.